Hello and welcome to Blog Tornado. How are you? And today we're gonna quickly try to go over the possibility of time travel, and I will explain to you today that time travel is possible and how can it be achieved. Okay, so it's a logical explanation that no problem, it can be explained. So please stay with me to understand further how this whole concept of time travel can actually be achieved. Okay, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up or subscribe here at the bottom right. That would be much appreciated. Thank you. So let's get right to it. So basically, the future that we're thinking of, the future that's coming towards us, the fact is, and here this is what you need to know. Okay, so please stay with me further to understand this concept of future and how future already exists as we speak right now. Okay, but not further in time. It actually exists right now out there in the universe. Okay, out there in outer space. Okay, because at the beginning, when the universe was made, there were intelligent life like ours that had a head start in evolution. Okay, so their evolutionary process happened thousands and thousands of years before our evolution, and whoever was at the forefront of the evolution even before the other extraterrestrial life out there, they are the one who rule them all. Okay, they are the most advanced race of extraterrestrial beings out there, and those beings, those extraterrestrials, are nothing more but similar to us. They are, they have bigger heads, they still have two eyes, two legs, two arms. They call them grays. Okay, so in many ways they are us, except they had a chance to evolve much faster, or they had a lot of time to evolve into what they are now. And what are they is the question. Well, I will explain to you how that ties in with Bob Lazar's story. Now, as you know, he explains and describes this UFO at S-4 that supposedly it's in US military possession at the moment, and he explains the technology that's on board that UFO vehicle and the whole concept of how it operates, able to distort time and space and so forth. And it has its own gravity, and it contains antimatter, and as you know, nothing on Earth can contain antimatter at the moment. So this kind of technology, it's quite obvious that it's from the future. It's virtually useless to us at the moment because we just can't replicate it. Okay, UFO technology cannot be replicated. Okay, it can be perhaps recreated in some ways to the best of our abilities, but it cannot actually be replicated, and that's Bob Lazar's words, not mine. Okay, so that's understandable because what he's describing there is just impossible at the moment, but hopefully one day into the future we're gonna able to perhaps get to that point. But for now, it's better just to put it away until we're ready to understand such UFO technology, if the story is true. But you must think to yourself, you hear so many abduction stories, and most of these people are talking about similar events or these crafts, the way they look like. They're very similar to story to story to story. So there's got to be some facts or some kind of truth behind it, of at least some sort of truth. So, but again, why wouldn't be such possibility of extraterrestrial true? Simply again, I would contradict myself if I was saying that it's not existent, but it is, because simply extraterrestrial evolutionary process took place already. So what we think of future that's coming down the road has already happened, and it's also present at this moment, and that's the the cool thing about this, okay? That the fact, what hasn't happened here on Earth yet, it's already happened long time ago out there in the universe, okay? But that's just the logical thinking, because again, the reason I like to hunt for the truth here at Blog Tornado is basically because that theories, those abduction stories support what I'm saying here. They support the fact that extraterrestrial or the future already exists out there in the universe, okay? Because, again, judging from the story of Bob Lazar, what he's describing about this UFO, if that's true, then, we have to understand that the future has already happened, okay? So now going back to explain to you how this whole concept of time travel is possible. Well, if you connect the dots here, you must understand that if they abduct us and take us to their planet, we're going to see the future, believe me, okay? And therefore, such time travel is possible. So we can travel, if we're even able to understand this UFO technology somehow and able to kind of get it off the ground, as Bob Lazar talked about it, that they were actually flying this ship somehow, and that's why this kind of information is very vital. That we can actually use those UFOs, and not just that they have one, but supposedly there were 9, that we can actually those UFOs to take us to this kind of planets that already have the future that one day will come to Earth. But and that's how time travel is actually possible. It's a simple, logical way of time traveling, because the future, again, is out there in the universe. It exists as we speak, as I speak right now. So this alien abduction stories, Barney and Betty Hill, Bob Lazar, Calvin Parker, Travis Walton, these are all important for us to understand that such possibility, at least some of this, what I'm trying to say to you today, is actually possible, okay? And that's the wall I'm trying to break through with you if you are getting into UFO scene, to understand what really is going on, so you don't think of these aliens as some sort of scary guys, like who knows, from Exorcist movie or something. These are just us. They're beings like us. They have bigger heads, and I'll explain to you why. And they exist, and they're common. These gray aliens, grays they call them, they're common in so many UFO abduction stories. You can, whatever, Travis Walton, Calvin Parker, they will tell you exactly the same thing. So the reason what happened, again, we are seeing the future when we're looking at them. Extraterrestrials look like us, okay? Except they have bigger heads, but they still have 2 hands, they still have 2 legs, and that's something that resembles us. And it's quite obvious we're going in that direction where one day we might look like them, because simply, the muscle power one day will not be as needed. As you can see, aliens are not really masculine, and therefore, because what's going on right now, because of this robotics that we're trying to replace manpower with, it's actually becoming a reality. Robotics are becoming more and more of a reality, and therefore our evolution will sort of take a turn towards brain power instead, okay? So, and that's quite evident as we speak. Everything is getting more and more complicated because we're using our brains more than we did in the past, and therefore we're not all this hard work one day will be done for us if we're able to use the brain power and create something like robots to do the work for us. And that's actually happening. Robotics are coming, and that's the reason that what happened, basically, aliens has already gone through that evolutionary process. And again, it's quite evident because, again, muscle power is not really it's noticeable they don't have any muscle power, but yet it's very noticeable that they have big heads. The brains got very developed, okay? And that tells us a lot about what will happen to us. But again, the reason this whole idea of extraterrestrial life is so important, at least to me, and I'm sure it is for many out there that believe in UFOs, that have open mind, is because these extraterrestrials can actually take us out of our misery. Okay, we have too many problems here on Earth. Okay, whether it's nuclear weapons, or environmental problems, health problems, social problems, all kinds of problems that we're having here on Earth, animal consumption for the food, and all those things that are just sometimes you don't want to talk about, are going on right now on this planet, that there are still problems, there are evident problems that we're going through right now, that we know about. What I just said right now, those are the problems that we do know about, and we are willing to fix them. However, it might take a long time. So now this is the whole cool part about the aliens and extraterrestrials' existence. Why is it so important? Why? Because simply, why go around the block, right, when you can go right through the block? So taking the shortcut, and as you know, shortcuts are basically a vital part of our survival, to take shortcuts, so we don't waste time, because we don't have time to waste. We're simply, biological organic mass that doesn't necessarily last that long, and therefore we have to be careful how we spend time. So now, why are they important? Why this channel? Why Block Tornado is important? Why am I hunting for the truth here? And sometimes you wonder, what's it about extraterrestrial that attracts you, and you really don't know what you're looking at. You're just thinking, oh, it's something strange and out of ordinary. But it's not like that. It's more like, what could those extraterrestrials mean to us? What can they help us with? Could they help us to actually solve all these problems that we're having right now? Well, maybe, because they have gone through that evolutionary process already a long time ago. So you have to understand that their help would be much appreciated, naturally. So that's why we have to be careful how we perceive extraterrestrial life, instead of taking them as some sort of, scary guys. No, it's not like that. It's something like, they could actually be very useful to us. Let's look at it that way. You can look at this from many different angles, but from this angle especially, it could actually help us a lot. By judging from technology that Bob Lazar explained to us, wow, that kind of technology, we have to understand they're very advanced, so they know what they're doing, okay? And they're actually already doing that for us. They're basically, modifying our genes. For what reason? Obviously because they're fixing something in there, So, and that's already going on, whether we like it or not. They're helping us out. So that's why we have to be more careful and more excited about this extraterrestrial life, because they can, it means a lot of shortcuts for our evolution, okay? And as I talked about it before, Bob Lazar and the evolutionary boost video, that explains how this injection of technology could mean so much for our future. And, something like this could change our lives, okay? And that's why we have to understand and be careful how we perceive aliens, rather than some scary guys. We have to think of them as somebody who's very intelligent, and we are the scary guys, okay? Because we're just so behind, and therefore, they're really trying to help us out here. But we should be willing to accept that with open arms. We should willing to welcome them to our reality. And why? Because we can learn a lot from them, okay? Again, Bob Lazar UFO tells us everything, what this extraterrestrial is all about, okay? What are they capable of? We should be quick on that, okay? So, and listen to this abductees, alien abductees, what they got to say, okay? Because such stories can mean a lot for our civilization, okay? Minus the junk, that fakery that's going on. But, some that are out there and You have to understand that a lot of those alien abductee stories, interviews are very important, and they could give us a hint, and that's what I'm hunting for here, that truth. Okay, try to analyze every single interview that I can to find out, wow, is this actually possible? Because aliens are nothing more but the future. They're the future. They're the guys from the future. Okay, so it's a reality. They could actually abduct people, and as you know, that's possible. They can take us on board these UFOs and take us to another planet as we speak. And that's why it always interested me throughout my life, this how interesting this can be, such things can actually happen. We can actually go inside such vehicles and travel to another universe or wherever we want to go. But finally we're able to see the real future that actually exists as we speak right now, as I'm speaking right now. Such future is out there. Okay, and taking that shortcut rather than going around the block, it could solve a lot of problems for us. But not just that, who knows what PlayStation 4 or Xbox look like. So you might want to check that out, what the virtual reality actually look like. We might be in one of these virtual realities right now as we speak. We don't know. It's that good. But you have to understand, if life is short, wouldn't you want to see something like this in your life? Would be life worth living, right? And as you know, that's why I always admire anybody who have seen anything remotely close to UFOs, whether it's an orb or flying saucer or extraterrestrial themselves. Anything like that is just a wealth of excitement. It's something very beautiful, something you don't hear every day. It doesn't happen to everybody. But those who have witnessed such a thing, it's the most probably beautiful experience they're ever going to have in their life, because they pretty much seen the future right in front of them, which is not like hundreds of years old or 200 years old. It's thousands of years old. These things are gods to us, okay? So we have to respect them in a way that we have to understand who they are and where are they coming from, and understand that such future exists out there in the universe as we speak right now. It's possible, okay? It could pretty much explain to us a lot, Anunnaki, as you know, that taught us a lot about this technology, and perhaps even explain us how to build such mega structures such as pyramids, okay? We don't even understand how they did that those days, okay? And they were able to do that. But that evolutionary bump of those pyramids, existence of those pyramids, it shows you that something unusual happened, okay? And building those pyramids is what this unusual thing is. Some kind of injection of knowledge of how to build those huge pyramids. It's just mind-boggling. But something happened there. There was some sort of interference of evolution, okay? Perhaps through extraterrestrial life, okay? We have to keep that possibility and minds open, because pyramid that I'm talking about, it's actually on $1 American bill inside the Illuminati symbol, okay? I explained to you what, if you watch my previous video about orbs, what orbs are. If you haven't seen orbs, please check it out on YouTube. There's tons of videos about orbs. But Illuminati basically means illuminating light, illuminating light, right? Illuminati. So orbs do that. And not just that, but as you can see, the top part of the pyramid, it's hovering in the air. And as you know, orbs hover in the air, okay? So, and the all-seeing eye, if there's an eye, there must be some sort of intelligence. And it says, e pluribus unum, above all, none, which means there's something above there, the all-seeing eye that's watching us all, that's above everybody, okay? So now, what is that eye in the sky? And I have a big reason to believe that the orbs that been throughout history with us, it's even evident in cave paintings, as I said before, and except, there must have been thousands of these sightings and people who saw them, except the technology wasn't available long time ago, not in cave days, but in whatever 50s, 60s, or even before. We didn't have a cell phone just to pull out, and tape such a event, and nobody was carrying camcorders around, those huge VHS camcorders. But now we can, because simply, the technology has become better, and we can just record such things on the fly. And that's the reason why they're popping all around the world. So that's a reasonable explanation, because now we can just catch them on the fly. So what are they really? That is the question. They've been with us for so many thousands of years, and they're present in all these stories. I'm a witness of UFO phenomena. I mean, you can read about it at my blog, tornado.com, and there's some other things there that are just confusing the whole thing. But there's a UFO section, and you can go to UFO and Orb Phenomena article and you can read about it, what happened to me. But I can tell you for sure that was something very unusual. Okay, it just didn't fit into reality, and no technology around that time, which is about 30 years or so, was present at that moment. So again, it was something out of ordinary. Okay, it was 3 lights in the sky. Again, it was one light, and then 2 more lights just came out of it. Again, that's like replicating themselves. Okay, that's something that drones cannot do. So this thing just like divided into 3 more. So there was 3 altogether, but they fly in perfectly straight formation, without any noise, without any sound, just hovering in the air, so bright. Okay, and glowing orange. And that was just so, to me, I cannot forget that. And it's probably the reason why I made this channel, and what drove me to get into this UFO scene, because again, it dawned to me later on that with such technology, if people talking about UFOs and so forth, this technology can actually take us into outer space, and we'll actually see what the real future looks like. Okay, so again, I don't know if the future is good. Perhaps maybe those aliens, maybe they feel like we do, have feelings like we do, and maybe that's something they lost during the process of their evolution, and they don't know what feelings are. And in most cases, a lot of these abduction stories kind of backs up that fact that they're very not necessarily so pleasant sometimes in some situations. Okay, the way they do experiments on people, they might not be so gentle with them, as with Calvin Parker's story and Fire in the Sky movie. You'll know more about that. But again, we have to respect the fact that they're very advanced. Okay, what they can do for us, what they can do for our evolution, evolutionary process. We can take these shortcuts with them. They can show us how, rather than going around the block. Going around the block might mean thousands and thousands of years yet to us to go through, and that, who wants that, right? When we can just take a shortcut. So we should, even if they're scary guys in some cases, we still, should respect the fact that they're very intelligent. Again, because we can learn a lot from them. They can solve these problems on Earth, environmental, social, health problems, killing animals for food. They can figure all that out. They've probably gone through that, and they know how to overcome all these problems. They probably even conquered death, as I talked about it before. They have the power to do that. So again, they can teach us a lot more than we know, and we should reach out to them to take that advantage, and welcome them as much as possible. Even maybe they don't even care. They just go about doing what they feel like doing, and perhaps there's nothing we can do. But if we can establish some sort of contact with them, that can certainly change the whole angle on how we perceive our reality, so their help is most welcome here on Earth. It should be. We just hope they are not bad, and that's something that we don't know. There's good and evil out there in the universe just as much as it is here on Earth. So whatever it's written here on Earth is probably written throughout the universe, okay? So we really don't know who we're dealing with on the end, but if they haven't harmed us, a long time ago, thousands of years ago, then we have to kind of predict the fact that why would they do that to us now? So that doesn't make any sense. So that sort of makes some sort of sense that, yeah, why would they? So sometimes we're thinking like asteroid might hit the Earth one day and destroy life on a planet. But what was the last time that happened? That happened a long time ago. So if it hasn't happened yet, why would it happen now? You know what I mean? However, if something has happened often, then we have a reason to believe that it will happen again next time, okay? So, which sort of ties in with this orb phenomenon, okay? It's happening more and more around the world. It's popping up on YouTube more and more frequently. And this alien abduction story is also becoming, something more evident. But if that happened in our past, throughout, time, then such thing will happen again, okay? So we're still yet to expect more alien abduction stories to come out. However, if this is happening like this more and more often, then we have a reason to believe that aliens eventually will reveal themselves to us. Okay? So they will make their presence known out there to the public eye rather than just some certain individuals. And, we have a reason to believe that this might happen anytime soon. So, again, please check out some of my UFO orb phenomena videos out there. I talk a lot about orbs. And the orbs are something that it's a start for us to kind of establish some sort of communication, to establish some sort of communication with them. And I talk about that in uni, this universal language that I made up that perhaps could be useful, that we might want to look into, because it probably exists everywhere throughout the universe, okay? Such as colors, shapes, quantities, sounds, all those things are already existent throughout the universe and we're familiar with. And that's why uni could be some sort of idea that we can communicate with extraterrestrial as a starting point, okay? In a nice, slow way, rather than just I'll show you my technology and you show me yours and blah, blah, blah. Nothing like that. Because, again, they want to be really careful with us, okay? They don't want to scare us away. And we have to understand that. So we need to, before they show what they're capable of, we have to take slow steps. And for now, as we see, orbs are some of those slow steps. Basically, they're showing a lot of color orange, and color sort of represents peaceful sort of communication rather than red or whatnot. So orange is a starting point, a color. And orbs are using that quite a lot, as you can see here in this video, basically how the orbs look like, and that's what I witnessed myself. So anyways, I don't want to bore you any longer, sorry about this, but I do want to thank you very much for staying with me all the way till here. I can see you're interested. So again, if you're interested in this channel, don't forget to give it a thumbs up or subscribe, and you'll have the latest what's coming up in the UFO world, as much as I can get my hands on. So yeah, please come back again. I post my videos every day, every second day, every third day, and there's something always new going on, and I will try to get deeper into this mystery of UFOs. So please stay with me to see what's going on. So again, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe here at the bottom, that'll be much appreciated. So thank you very much. And keep your eyes in the sky just in case you see a UFO fly by. Cheers.